got to put our best foot forward if we are the Met fans right now, because the Mets have put themselves in a great spot. Now they have 10 games left. This is the stretch run. This is it. This is where you finally have the rubber meeting the road.
Yeah.
As they say. It's
metal meeting the meat.
Metal meeting the meat
Nut
spot.
cutting time.
Nut cutting time.
That's right.
And you know what? Taking care of the Nationals the way they did last night, and Acuna hitting another home run. I mean, things couldn't be much better. What would be better if they got Lindor back for this particular series? We'll see.
Yeah.
We did get some news yesterday that Christian Scott's going to undergo Tommy John surgery, so he'll be gone for the 2025 season. But
that sucks.
You know, when I think about what's going on right now with the Mets, and like Nimmo gets involved last night, you know, all guys are starting to pick it up a little bit. And maybe that meeting had something to do with it. This team likes team meetings, and there have been 2 team meetings this year. And after both team meetings, the team has come out and played well. And I was thinking about this because there were 11 games under 500 on May 28th of this season. And we were all sitting here like, this is it. Trade Pete Alonso. What's going to happen?
I certainly was. We
all were.
Done with them.
The entire station was. Come on.
Well, not everybody.
Knows. But, I just
not Jerry.
No, Jerry, because Jerry thought that they were going to, get to over 500, and it's turned out to be they're 84 and 68 right now, which is really amazing when you think about it. So they've played their way into contention. You know, if the playoffs started today, they would start at San Diego. It would be 3 games in San Diego on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of October.
You sure about that?
Yes. Yeah. They would be the 4th seed, and San Diego would be the 5th seed.
Oh, if they got the 4th seed. I got confused. I apologize. I thought because if they're the 6th seed, they would be facing the Milwaukee Brewers, and that's the thing I've been thinking about because they've been sitting at 6 for a long time. But if it ended today,
yes,
it would be all right.
If they're the 4th seed, they'd be playing San Diego.
Oh yeah, great. The Padres.
Well, let's go. Come on, man. They went out there and they played well against the Padres. They should have taken 3 out of 4 the last time they played. But
in 2022 is a different story.
Right now, it's focusing on the Phillies. It's 1 pitch, 1 inning, 1 game. Yeah. SOB. And listen, This is what we all wanted. This is what we were looking forward to. We were looking forward to a September where both baseball teams gave us something to root for. And, the Yankees clinched their spot into the World Series. Into the playoffs. And by the way, Yankees right now are the number 1 seed in the American League. So after all of this freaking nonsense all year long, you don't have the right to put the team together. You can't do this. Brian Cashman sucks. Well, last night will be the Anthony Rizzo game. Last night was the Julio Rodriguez game because it ended on one of the most bizarre plays you will ever see. And if you didn't stay up and watch it last night, I saw it last night.
You saw it live?
I saw it with one eye open last night.
Oh my God, you saw that live?
Yes. And I was like, holy crap, I have never seen that before.
All right.
It was the bizarre play of the night.
Right, yeah. So all right, a couple of things because now you're just you're giving us everything from staying up, and we will get to.
I can't help it.
We will get to that game.
Up. I got a little 5-hour energy in me.
I know.
I'm drinking a little coffee right now. I'm ready to rock and roll.
2 of the weirdest plays.
I am so pumped up because we got football tonight. The Mets and the Yankees are winning. It doesn't get much better than this. And you know what? Take stock in it, Gio.
Take stock.
Take stock.
I'm taking stock.
You know why you need to take stock? Because this is like a happy Thursday.
It is. Well, hopefully.
And tomorrow's a feel-good Friday, and it better be a feel-good Friday. I mean, a really feel-good Friday.
Yeah, we cannot be coming in here talking about the Jets losing to the Patriots. I don't think that we will. But, yeah, you're right. It should be a really big feel-good Friday. So what do you make about this? Because I do think it's interesting that it's gotten all the way to the players. It's one thing if we're having a discussion about it or BT and Sal are talking to Howie Rose about it yesterday with the attendance and how come you haven't seen more of a crowd at Citi Field down the stretch because they're in this race. And then you get Brandon Nimmo after the game begging fans to come to the ballpark. Now, I do think that you're going to see much bigger crowds over the weekend for a number of reasons. I mean, 1, it's the weekend. 2, it's the Philadelphia Phillies. 3, now you got Brandon Nimmo asking for fans to show up. But, I mean, I want to defend the Met fan a little bit in this regard because I think they're getting crushed for not coming to these games.
Why are we talking about things that really, at the end of the day.
Because Brandon Nimmo talked about it yesterday.
Brandon wants to play. I understand from a player's perspective.
All right, so let's talk about the Julio Rodriguez bat thing. Go for it. Let's talk about that. That was so interesting.
Look.
Let's talk about that.
I'm pointing out. I want to talk about what you want to talk about.
No, you don't. You said, why are we talking about
it? I'm just saying that's a distraction. We don't need distractions right now.
Okay.
What we need is focus.
All right.
And we need to be supremely focused on the task at hand, which is, these games against the Phillies, which I think are going to be well attended. I really do. You know why? Because this is a playoff push. This is what we all were hoping for. This is one of our biggest rivals. They are the number one seed right now, or not the number one seed, but the number one in the NL East. And I'm just telling you right now is the moment in time for us Met fans to support the team. So I'm with Brandon Nimmo, but I think it's distracting. Maybe it's something for us as the fans to talk about. But I just think that you'll see a good crowd this weekend in these 4 games.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was that I wanted to defend the Met fan a little bit because they got crushed in 2022. They got crushed last year. The offseason wasn't exciting, and people weren't buying tickets ahead of time to see the Washington Nationals during the week. They just weren't doing that. So you would think, all right, you're going to get a walk-up. Maybe you're going to get a lot of people because they're in the pennant race. No, they weren't doing that. They're waiting. But to act as if they're not going to show up for the Phillies series or they're not going to show up for the playoffs is an extrapolation that's not going to happen. The Met fan is going to show up. They're going to be there. Everything's going to be all right. And then Brandon Nimmo is going to feel like he did it because he's going to look up into the crowd and at these games against the Phillies and be like, man, you know, I told them to come out and they came out. They're probably already sold out. The crowd is already going to be big. But I was annoyed yesterday hearing some of this, like the Met fan doesn't care about the team right now because they're not going to the games, which is just that's a lie.
We care.
I mean, it's just
We're not going to the games, but we care.
Right. I mean, you can care, not want to go to Citi Field to watch the Mets and the Nationals on a Wednesday night after your kids went back to school, right? I mean, it's just that to me. In 2024, it doesn't mean that you don't care about your team if the building isn't completely filled. That's all I was trying to say was that the Met fan cares and don't look at the attendance numbers against the Nationals on a Wednesday in September when nobody expected this team to be good and say that the Met fan's not into the team.
The only thing that will impact tonight's game will be the Thursday night game between the Jets and the Patriots. There will be Met Jet fans, and they're going to go. The football fans going to go to see the football game, and they'll probably give their tickets away or not use them or whatever. But that will have an impact on tonight's attendance most likely. But then the weekend, it's wide open pretty much, and they play Sunday night. So the Jets would have already played. The Giants would have already played. I would think Sunday night would be a huge crowd, assuming that game is going to mean something, and most likely it will. And I think that the weekend's going to be fine. I really do. I mean, it's just, I understand what Brandon Nimmo's saying, and I appreciate what he's saying because he wants a raucous home crowd. He wants the players to feed off the energy of the crowd, and I would want the same thing. So I'm good with all of it. I'm happy. I wake up this morning. After getting about 3 hours of sleep, I'm giddy. I mean, because we got a lot of good things going on right now.
Yeah, we do, and it's going to get better. I mean, that's the thing is you feel like it's going to get better because the Mets are hot again, they're hitting again, and you hope Lindor comes back. So that's great if you can get him back. These guys are inspired. The Yankees are playing better. They clinch a playoff spot. They have an opportunity now as the Baltimore Orioles are sliding and slipping and sliding to win the division even earlier than they expected. So you expect these things. You expect the Mets to continue to roll, the Yankees to continue to roll, and with the schedule with the Jets as it starts tonight, you expect them to roll and to be 6-1, 5-1. And get off to a much better start than they have in a very long time.
Did you see who beat the Orioles last night?
Yes, of course I saw who beat the Orioles last
night.
Michael
Conforto.
Yep.
A little home run.
Yeah. A little blast from the past, helping out the New York Yankees.
I mean, the Yankees are rolling right now, man. They are rolling.
Yeah.
And, they only had 3 hits last night, but they're getting great pitching.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a bizarre series. You're right. The two things that you never saw before in your life is a guy getting thrown out at home with the bases loaded and a 3-0 count. And then last night, a guy getting thrown out at third because he thought a play was dead when a bat flies over his head and he doesn't get back to the base. I mean,
give Austin Wells and Jazz Chisholm a lot of credit for being aware.
Well, yeah, I mean.
And what's going on.
But do you give them credit for knowing the rules, or do you slam Rodriguez for not knowing the rules?
Well, I just say, you know what? This is fundamental baseball, and the Yankees executed the right way. And the Mariners' young player, Julio Rodriguez, was, had a brain cramp. He had a Will Levis.
You know what it reminded me of? You know, we talk about Stephen Waldron, who...
I mean, you talk about overreacting. I mean,
right.
What's he doing? I mean, what are you doing there, kid? The bat didn't hit you.
Like when Stephen Waldron would mark his ball on the green and then walk away really far unnecessarily. That's what I thought of Julio. That's what I thought of Julio Rodriguez. Like he went, like that bat came close to him, but he really like he almost went into the dugout. Like, where are you going, man?
Somebody better remind him that the play is live. And, and Austin Wells was great. He was Johnny on the spot. And they only see, here's the thing about the Yankees. They can win a game where they only have 3 hits.
Yeah, but which is something they have not done in the postseason when they've bowed out early.
Play good, solid defense, get good pitching, and then timely plays like that. That's winning baseball, G.
It is winning baseball. Timely plays.
And you gotta love it.
Who's the third base coach for the Seattle Mariners? Because that guy, if you want, third base coaches very rarely get opportunities to impact games. It's usually the windmill, let's go, or the stop. Well, that's all they do.
That guy was standing over there, and he saw 2 of the most horrific plays.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Seattle Mariner history, Al.
Oh, it's Manny Acta.
Manny Acta, you remember him?
Of course.
Met coach.
Right, and then he went to the Nationals to manage them. So this is a couple of really bad days for Manny Acta.
What happened? Where was Manny Acta on that play? Now that I think of it.
I mean, he starts, he's watching Julio Rodriguez go away. And then he's finally like, oh, get back. I think he wasn't even thinking either, because in the initial reaction, he wasn't yelling. So he's just standing there. I mean, when you are a third base coach, you got to know the rules, don't you? Don't you start yelling at your player. Where the hell are you going?
I'm Razor Shines, your third base coach of life.
Love Razor Shine.
Yeah, this was a dropped ball opportunity here for Manny Acta. He could have stopped, what's his face the other night, who I already forgot his name. Was it Rojas? I forget. From stealing home. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?
And you could have stopped Rodriguez last night, or got him back to the base, and you blew it. But so the Yankees, they have the champagne last night. They're going to do the champagne again when they win the division. Hopefully champagne after the ALDS, and the champagne after the ALCS, and the champagne and the champagne and the champagne.
They're going to the World Series. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say that.
Well,
and by the way, I stood tall all through July and August with the same sentiment.
About the Yankees,
About the Yankees. So I don't want to hear any now all of a sudden you're a bandwagon guy.